Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress, blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Grab and pull. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and, without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right, but no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Quite a shock to the system. Let's try that again. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Slice and dice. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives. Those are the kind of things you need. He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark. It's a scar you're covering under that eye patch, isn't it? But he would have recognized you anyways. You look exactly like your Muma. There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have. It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. After the old village was destroyed and you disappeared, a struggle between the families erupted, and over time, the disciples turned against each other. Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree. Asks if you are tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if you're... Sounds like he thinks she does, despite your heart growing dark. There's nothing as powerful as a Mooma's love. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people. Magic? He claims it's just the force of life. You found one. You should be proud. They don't come out for everyone. The small tree you saw up there where you met will eventually grow into a tree of life and start giving back to nature. It'll be the heart. You'll need a net to catch the nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to... You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's impressed. They're hiding in the... Head... Now that you've seen the nono's connection with the tree with your own eyes, you have no reason to doubt. From this day on, he'll make nurturing the pensai into a tree of life, a life goal, not only for our village's sake, but for all of us, everyone. One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even your Mooma will be able to protect us. He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Mooma comes looking for you. You did... He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a trail you can follow. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the Tree of Life, but now he's afraid it might be in vain. The tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that that the World Eaters arrived. Records tell of the ruinous devastation. His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Nocco has tamed the Midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. There's one at the end of each route. The road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. His friends aren't strong enough to end this on their own. He wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree isn't saved. His friends have prepared something specific for each World Eater. The Mekton, the Octopod, the Majute, and the Goo Glide are almost ready to ride. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here. He worries he doesn't know. He's grateful for that. You still seem to have a spark of light in you.
Ah! That's a spark of light in you!
What's there to like about light? It hurts to look at.
Not as much as it hurts to look at you.
Always making this personal.
And you're always trying to pretend it's not.
There's Out-of-Date again. He must have missed something important. Out-of-Date knows you'll make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe, and there's two nearby. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out-of-Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side. He believes the tribe Sifus, Jagni especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part. He believes you share Jagni's view on the world. Regardless, Jagni would welcome someone that had helped them against the Myriad tribe. He'll be waiting. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's a bridge. Just get over it. You're empty of key. Hope that was a bad guy. Your mind expands. They've destroyed this area, muddied up what used to be muck, as if it wasn't bad enough before the tribe war began. Be a blessing or a curse, it's up to you. You're either a part of their solution to the tribe war, or part of the problem. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Figures the Sifu would be interested in seeing you.
Zata is the moi totloho. Kariesne stace. Paro, ya put
The Jagni tribe wants to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. They want to vanquish the tribes, as the only way they can guarantee peace is through supremacy. The Sifu is determined to let the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life, as it's part of their strategy to cleanse the world and start anew. He welcomes you to the Jagni fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. The news of a cold-blooded Ronin crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 preceded you. He's referring to your rampage through Bunker 101. It seems you don't mind a bit of blood on your hands. That's something you have in common. He understands that sometimes we need to lose ourselves to find ourselves. But he's glad you chose to come here. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. Sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't... Your Muma invented Wung Fu. Originally, it was based on unarmed combat and the 6 weapons: the boomerang, the shuriken, the bow, the staff, the nunchuk, and the hook and chain. The Sif... Jagni doesn't want a new unity between the tribes. Their goal is to become omnipresent and, most importantly, says fear and hatred is the only path to domination. But you already know that, so embracing that side of you and helping them vanquish the tribes and letting the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life should be an easy decision. He didn't expect that of you. You were born bad so you could do good in this world. That weak mind of yours has made you soft. He'll give you a chance to change your mind before you leave and asks you to reconsider. Otherwise, you'll be seen as a rival.
Zata.
He recognizes you sometimes need to challenge your mindset to make up your mind. You're a... The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can vanquish the other tribes. The one he wants to deal with first... Their kin must put an end to the war before war. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. You both share dark thoughts, so they want to wage a war. Once you've conquered the rivals' outposts, you'll...
Lekkerding kijken.
Sit-
Maar draai bij tijdrennen.
Della la balazza sa di asweshe cook.
The vendor says you can browse his goods and the gatekeeper welcomes you back to the fort.
But I kill realize.
Let's see. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurled. Boom! You're injured. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past, like whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes. He asks how you are today. Goop says he always does better whenever he leaves failure behind. He's happy his good mood is infectious. Goop says some choose to be lonely because no one understands what they're going through. If that's you, he'll try to help you if you let him. He thinks you should really know how to swim by now.
Kawaii.
And he'll be honored.
Hanap dapat ko. Turtua. Nusa.
He says that wasn't too bad, was it?
Manutay baradrade wingi.
At least you learned that you'll drown if you don't swim.
Yukia awali kawaii.
You need to rely on those who somehow know how to teach. Those willing to bend down and help you pick up. You just need more time in the surf. That's the only way you'll ever learn how to swim. You can never try too hard. Judging by your Mooma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. It's time to go. The dedication to training is important. You can't rely solely on the fact that Wang Fu is in your blood. You should know, practice makes perfect. You have to keep working on it if you want to be good at it. She'll see you at the village square. She says that's good. With a passion for learning, you'll never cease to grow. Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. He was hoping you could help him pick up some scrap for a thingamajig he's working on. He wonders what usefulness you found. He can work. You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to craft a weapon. He understands. It looks like she's starting to lose her patience. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see you on the village square. Then you've got a good excuse. You share a responsibility to prevent hardship on nature and the environment. She wants you to grow up and start thinking for yourself. You really need to find yourself before she's... You've all... They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. He wants...
Rumbleren marsamon.
She asks if you're hurt. What happened?
Katja doppolutta.
She's there for all disciples. That's her commitment.
Pendnam puusa.
The most important thing is that you're...
Taifanamenuma.
It's time to focus on your training now.
Pendnam puusa.
Here's someone close to heart, doing what he does best.
Kalba huali.
Seeing you always puts a smile.
Mustan bala.
He heard...
Kalba jak intan kakudu.
Yeah.
Bestilka. Mustan bala. Bestilka.
He's curious to see what you found.
Kafe. Wa kaguhu. Badan sem.
Thinks...
Inta badan farujudu. Ikaya bahafka. Waksan nakali. Ishku.
You should take it with you. Where...
Evazin. Mustakabala nukun dunash.
Gendrana mala.
Your Muma says it's about time you got here.
Ora sadurut. Sadurutu.
Wants you to understand that you can do anything if you...
Ora sadurut. Antoro. Ferena masalapu.
But there's enough...
Kanamunta.
Your Muma says you did well today. She's so proud of you. That's all she's ever asked.
Pala, ruhemuktuno, kanyala no toro, and taifanamenuma.
Catchy.
Pala.
Your Muma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little thing. It's wonderful. She's...
Kanamunta. It's intent. Kanaruta.
It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA. It'll follow wherever you go and see whatever you...
Kanamunta.
You're lucky to have such a fine helper with...
Tatenko baba sakting can't see.
Said, rest and you'll find... Nothing could stop Luca Lupin from setting the world on fire.
Antoro.
Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. Give it a last burst and you'll make it. Your Muma says this is it. The time has come. She must fight Lupa Lupin. This time there's no escape. She can hear him come. There's nowhere to run to this time. The time has come to Whatever happens, she tells you to stay back. This is her fight. It has nothing. Here it comes. The past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow. Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory. As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on.
The tribe's caught a fluffy hulk. Better watch out, it's no pet.
They couldn't keep it down. Fluff Hulk's on the loose. Chop it up.
Carve it up.
Your key energy is all used up.
Da, be tayo. Yudelui tasaluta. Ruruai. Laha.
You should hurry there and help them storm the outpost.
Rakilada.